Hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box, sir, my voice is audible. Okay, sir, thank you. So, in our last session, we have done the concepts of reverse charge mechanism. We have started our discussion on the section number 9, imposing fine, that is charging section under GST. The CGST will be applicable on all intra-state supply except alcoholic liquor for human consumption at the rate not exceeding 20%, and on 5 petroleum product GST will be applicable on a future date. After that, we have done the section number 9 subsection number 3, the specific goods and services on which the recipient is liable to make the payment of taxes and claim the input tax credit. And also we have done the special concept regarding the e-commerce operator. Okay, so in our today's session we are going to start our discussion on the specific list of goods and services on which the recipient is liable to make the payment of taxes. That means, sir, if any goods which you have bought from the specific person and the goods is listed in the given list, in that case, as a recipient, you have to make the payment of taxes. And if the following services which you have received, in that case, as a recipient, you have to make the payment of taxes. Now, just first we'll try to understand the concept of this reverse charge mechanism from basic perspective. Okay. Try to understand this specific concept from logically. Reverse charge, sir. In case of reverse charge mechanism, we all know that the recipient who is going to receive the goods or services, that person will be liable to make the payment of the taxes. Okay. That means recipient has to make the payment of the taxes through cash ledger. And when recipient is making the payment through the cash ledger under reverse charge mechanism, at the same time, recipient will be eligible to claim the input tax credit for the same amount. That means the amount on which the recipient has made the payment in cash, recipient is eligible to claim the input tax credit. Now, there may be one doubt that, sir, why he is paying the tax in cash and getting the input tax credit? Why this logic is there? Okay, so we'll try to understand logically so that the complete concept of RCM will be there in our brain. Okay, sir, suppose in case of forward charge, when the supplier is making the payment of tax under forward charge, the supplier is making the payment of tax. Okay, when supplier is making the payment of tax, that means supplier is paying the amount to the government at the time, sir, when recipient is buying the goods from supplier. At that time, recipient is claiming the ITC. Recipient is claiming the ITC for the amount which recipient has paid to the supplier. Am I right? And in that case, the supplier is going to make the payment to the government and recipient is getting the ITC. Recipient has not directly made the payment to the government. Recipient has made the payment to the supplier. Now, in case of reverse charge mechanism, as supplier is not paying any taxes, hence government is saying, Mr. Recipient, you just need to make the payment of tax to us. Or in that case, recipient is not paying the tax to the supplier, directly to the government. Earlier, when recipient is paying the tax to the supplier, at that time recipient was eligible to claim the ITC, and directly, indirectly, the government is getting the revenue. In that case, also recipient is directly making the payment to the government, that is, government is receiving the tax directly, so recipient will be eligible to claim the ITC for the same amount. Earlier, the invoice was generated by the supplier. Now government is saying, Mr. Recipient, as you are paying the tax to us, so you have to generate the invoice. Hence, the reverse charge mechanism concept is also called as self-invoicing mechanism. That means recipient is generating the invoice and making the payment to the government. Hence, recipient is making the payment of government, generating the invoice and claiming the input tax credit. Sir, logically, why recipient is making the payment and claiming the input tax credit? This concept is okay for you? Just let me know in the chat box. Conceptually, okay. I know you all are following this specific concept since last 5 years, okay. But logically, is that clear? Okay, sir. Thank you for your response in the chat box. Those who are joining the session late, I request you that please join the session by 7 so that we can start our discussion on time. Okay. Now, sir, in case of reverse charge mechanism, the recipient is making the payment of taxes to the government, but prima facie that liability was supplier. Okay, and recipient is making the payment of tax. So the payment which has been made by the recipient to the government and the taxable value which has been declared by the recipient, whether the same will be included in the turnover of the recipient? No, not at all. That will not be included in the turnover of recipient. Reason being, prima facie to make the payment of taxes is the responsibility of supplier, but in that case the responsibility has been shifted to the recipient. So the same will not be included in the turnover of recipient. That is what is the language. The RCM supply does not include in the aggregate turnover. RCM tax does not include it in the output tax. Hence, sir, when you all were filing the GSTR 3B return, at that time you found that we are showing that output tax separately and we are showing the inward supply liable to reverse charge mechanism separately. Okay. When a particular supply decided as liable to reverse charge mechanism, at the same time the time of supply will be determined separately. We'll discuss the complete concept of time of supply. Okay. Sir, you can claim the ITC in the same month or in subsequent month. The same is allowed. Okay. So procedure for reverse charge mechanism: recipient has to prepare the invoice as soon as he received the supplier not liable to pay the payment of taxes. Invoice has to be prepared in his own name and the same has been submitted in the return form. Sir, if you forget to claim the same in the same month, in that case you can claim in the subsequent month as well. Because for the particular financial year I have a timeline. Yes, first payment, then you can claim. Without payment, how you can claim the input tax credit under reverse charge mechanism? Now, sir, we have a comprehensive list. We have a comprehensive list of the goods on which RCM is applicable. Okay, I will take the question and answers at the end of session. So I request, please don't put it. You can write it at your notebook or in your Word file. So you can post it at the end of session. Okay. Now, mines royalty you can ask at the end of session. We'll discuss. Okay. Now, first we'll discuss the list of goods on which the RCM is applicable. That means, as a buyer, if I have received the below mentioned items, in such a scenario, I have to pay the tax under reverse charge mechanism. We'll also try to discuss logically so that it will be there in our brain for a longer amount of time. Okay. So, the prospect of learning this specific list is only one, that whenever you will found any activity or transaction in the books of accounts of your client or in the financial statement, through the analysis or through the prima facie verification of that financial statement, you should identify that whether RCM is applicable or not. That is what is the purpose. Now, first item, that is cashew nuts. Now, sir, item is cashew nuts. Just look on supplier agriculturalist. And as we all know that under GST, the agriculturalist is not liable to take the GST registration. So this person is not taking the GST registration. But government wants the liquidity from the taxation perspective. Hence government has included this specific clause. And said that if cashew nuts has been supplied by the agriculturalist to the registered person, in that case that registered person is liable to make the payment of taxes and claim the input tax credit. That means, suppose you are checking the financial statement and you identify a head purchase and you have checked the entries related to the purchase. In that case you found there is a purchase of cashew nuts. You have to directly ask from your client that, sir, whether you have paid reverse charge mechanism on the receipt of this cashew nuts or not. That is what is the purpose of reading this list. Sir, if one person is unregistered and that person is receiving something from the agriculturalist, then the unregistered person is not going to show anything, okay, and that person is not going to submit the books of accounts with the income tax department, because but obvious turnover will be less than 40 lakh rupees, so no requirement. So this specific thing is especially applicable to the registered person who is a recipient. Okay, sir, in law we'll also try to understand the language reading techniques in this particular session. What is the importance of various specific words in the law? Okay, so that you will find that the importance of and or, importance of full stop and comma, everything we'll discuss in this course. Okay, next, tendu leaves. Tendu leaves supplied by the agriculturalist. Again, the agriculturalist not going to take the GST registration. So agriculturalist to any registered person, specifically mentioned, no question is required because registered person. So any tendu leaves which has been supplied by the agriculturalist to the recipient, then the recipient will be liable to make the payment of the taxes. So you just need to keep these things in your mind. Through the analysis of financial statement, if you found any entry, ask about the reverse charge mechanism. Tobacco leaves, that is also supplied by the agriculturalist to any registered person. In that case, the registered person will be liable to make the payment of the taxes. Essential oil, other than those who have fruits, peppermint oil, spearmint oil, so these type of oils which has been received from any unregistered person, which has been supplied by an unregistered person or received from unregistered person by a registered person, in such a scenario also the registered person will be liable to make the payment of the taxes. Silk yarn, any person, if you will visit the Malegaon or the Ichalkaranji or the Maharashtra sites, okay, many silk yarns are there. So in that case, any person who manufactures silk yarn from raw silk and silk worms, in such a scenario, if that silk yarn is supplied by the manufacturer to the registered person will be liable. Okay, and a person who is going to manufacture the silk yarn from the raw silk, that is also agriculturalist activities, you can say. Okay, hence government has included that if the manufacturer of silk yarn is going to supply anything to the registered person, that is silk yarn, in that case also the reverse charge mechanism is applicable. Any raw cotton which has been supplied, by the agriculturalist to the registered person, in that case also RCM is applicable. Many time what will happen, I just want to share with you that many time in many scenarios the textile manufacturer or textile industry is going to buy certain raw cotton from the agriculturalist, and if you will check the financial statement, you will also found purchase of cotton. Okay, you have to ask, sir, it is a raw cotton? And if they are saying that yes, it is a raw cotton, in that case we have to ask about the RCM applicability. In 50 to 60% cases, you will found that they have considered it as a cotton only and not paid the GST under reverse charge mechanism. And at the time of audit and scrutiny, departmental authority will ask the invoices related to purchase, and they can easily identify this is a purchase of raw cotton, and they will ask from the perspective of RCM applicability. So we should be careful from that perspective. Next, sir, lottery. As we all know that the lottery is completely the area for the state government. Okay, state government is going to handle the complete lottery in maximum cases. Okay, so if any lottery tickets, or in case of lottery there may be quota. Okay, the government is going to provide the quota to the dealer, to the agent, and that agent is going to distribute the lottery tickets in the state. Okay, and promoting the bad habits, you can say. Now, lottery which has been supplied by the state government, union territory, or any local authority. No central government is there. Okay, union territory, local authority, and the state government is going to supply the same to the local lottery distributor or the selling agent. If you are working or handling the books of accounts or the compliances for the lottery agent or lottery distributor, in that case you have to keep this point very well in your brain, that sir, that lottery agent or selling agent is liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism, because logically we all know government is not going to make the payment of any taxes. They are just going to shift the burden, you can say. Just for memorizing the provision, we can take it. Used vehicle, seized vehicle, confiscated goods, old and used goods in waste and scrap. Sir, many time, many police authorities going to seize multiple vehicles. Okay. Whenever you will visit any police station, you can observe that multiple old vehicles you found at that police station, because they found it through multiple reasons. Okay. So in that case, they are going to sell that used vehicle, seized vehicle, confiscated vehicle, or multiple goods. So the person, the authority who is going to supply that used, seized, and confiscated goods, that will be your central government, state government, union territory, or local authority. And if that used vehicles or the wastage goods has been bought by any registered person, in such a scenario, your registered person will be liable to make the payment of taxes. Your registered person will be liable to make the payment of taxes. So if you are working for any scrap dealer, in that case you found that person has bought certain goods from the central government, state government through the analysis of ledger of scrutiny. In that case, you have to ask about the reverse charge mechanism. Okay, sir, why I am taking the scenario based examples? The reason being, you can easily link it, and whenever you will check the data of that relevant client, you can easily ask the questions related to the revenue. Okay, priority sector lending certificates. Okay, so keep this point pending, we'll discuss later on. Priority sector lending certificates, just keep this point pending, we'll discuss later on. And this point also you have to keep it pending, that is the cement input service and capital goods regarding promoter and builder, we'll discuss at the time of construction related portion. Okay, because first I want to give you the idea about the construction and related applicability, and then we'll discuss the cement input service capital goods and the applicability of reverse charge mechanism. Okay, and priority sector lending certificates. Used vehicle, seized vehicle, confiscated vehicles. Okay, कई बार क्या होता है, कई सारे vehicles की चोरी हो जाती है. Okay, many times there may be chances certain vehicles as stolen. Okay, in that case the police authority is going to find them, or many times due to certain dues or due to certain recovery related issues, the government is going, or the police authorities or government is going to recover the same through the vehicles, through the goods, through the items of that particular person. Okay, in that case government is not going to take that goods or vehicles with them only, they are just going to sell it and generate the revenue, because they also have to submit it with the treasurer. So in that case, when they are selling these goods or vehicles to any registered person, and registered person is going to buy the same because that person is getting it at a lower amount of price, and that person will sell it in the domestic market. So when any person who is going to buy the goods or vehicles from the central government, state government, union territory, or local authority, in that case the person who is buying the goods from central government, state government, local authority, union territory, that person has to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. Is that okay, Gitika ji? So whenever you will go through for the audit of any scrap dealer and you found any entry from central government, state government, local authority, we have to ask the question regarding the payment of reverse charge mechanism. Metal scrap. Any unregistered person who has supplied the metal scrap to the registered person, in that case, that registered person will be liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism, and that registered person is also eligible to claim the input tax credit. Okay, so this is the complete list of goods on which the reverse charge mechanism is applicable. We have skip 2 points. One is priority sector lending certificate, and second one is related to promoter and builder construction related things that will done after construction concept. Okay, so the goods list is okay for everyone. No, if any company is going to sold the old vehicles, in that case this concept is not applicable. At that time we have to check the margin money concept. Okay, that also will discuss later on in case of our second hand goods sold, when we'll discuss section number 15, pure agent concept. Before moving to the pure agent concept, we'll discuss this concept as well. Also tomorrow morning 10 a.m. we have free workshop on the memory technique. So if anyone wants to join, then after completion of our today's session, we'll share the joining link tomorrow morning sharp at 10 a.m. So if anyone wants to join, then they can join. But I request, if you have already attended the session earlier, then please don't join. If you have not attended that session, then most welcome. Okay, now we'll discuss about the list of services. Sir, RCM percent is the same as per the rate of goods or as per the rate of services. There is no any specific percentage which is applicable in case of RCM. The rate is completely as per the rate notification. Now, services under reverse charge mechanism, we have done with the list of goods. Now, the point is to discuss about the services. So whenever you will analyze the financial statement of your client, okay, so if you found any specific entry in the financial statement regarding the services, in that case we have to ask from the perspective of applicability of reverse charge mechanism. Sir, when we are analyzing the financial statement from expenditure side, we have two most important perspective. One is we have to check that the input tax credit which has been availed on the expenditure by the taxpayer, that person is eligible to avail that input tax credit or not. This is the first question. Second question, that is, sir, any expenditure which is liable to reverse charge mechanism, whether the person has paid the RCM or not. Because suppose if you have not identified a specific expenditure on which the RCM is applicable and you have not suggested the same to your client regarding the payment of reverse charge mechanism, what will happen? Just for an example, you skip that specific point, financial year done, GSTR 99C done. After 2 years, departmental authority come up with the notice for the scrutiny. And departmental authority has raised the concern that, sir, in your financial statement, you have booked this specific expenditure and this expenditure is liable for the reverse charge mechanism as per section number 9, subsection 3, but you have not paid any RCM. And at that time, sir, if you will pay the amount for the reverse charge mechanism, you have to pay it in cash and you will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. So there will be a loss of the ITC as well. So we need to be very much careful from that perspective. Now, just take all the points on which the reverse charge mechanism is applicable. That means recipient is liable to make the payment of tax. First one, which is very popular in the market. Okay, we all are following this concept since July 2017. That is GTA. If any registered person has taken any services, if any registered person has taken the services of the GTA, that is goods transport agency, in that case that recipient is liable to make the payment of taxes. Suppose for delivery of the goods, I have a manufacturing industry and I am delivering that goods to my buyers. In that case, for delivery of the goods of my product to my buyers, I have taken the services from the goods travel agent, and goods travel agent has prepared an invoice of 10,000 rupees. In that case, I am the registered person who is recipient of the services from the GTA. So in that case, I will be liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. If GTA is making the payment of taxes, in that case, GTA has to declare under forward charge. Okay, annexure 5 is there, you have to fill it down. Then GTA can discuss. Okay, then GTA can make the payment of taxes under forward charge, and buyer is not liable to make the payment of GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, first you just need to understand the concept that in case of GTA, RCM is applicable. Okay, we'll also discuss completely detailed way that when the GTA can file an application in the annexure for opting the forward charge mechanism, what will happen in case of 12%, 5% rate differentiation, everything we'll discuss. Okay, now we are just covering the basics from the perspective of reverse charge mechanism, that what are the scenarios in which the RCM is applicable. So in case of GTA, the services provided by the goods transport agency and received by the registered person, in that case, RCM is applicable. Okay, and to become a GTA, goods transport agency and service provided, there is a very important role. One specific line is also here in the chat box, that is consignment note. If you are issuing the consignment note, in that case only we can say that you are providing the services as a GTA. So you can say this consignment note is the most important document. This consignment note is the most important document. Okay, this is the first thing, GTA services. Second, legal services. Legal services means any services which has been provided by the advocate, including senior advocates or firm of advocates, to any business entity located in the taxable territory. In such a scenario, that person will be liable to make the payment of the taxes. Hence, whenever you are checking the books of accounts of your client and you found any entry regarding the legal expenditure, then you should be very much careful that on that legal expenditure RCM is applicable. Okay, and also many time what will happen? We are doing one mistake. What we are doing? We are showing the audit fees. We are showing the audit fees as a legal expenditure. Okay. In that case, prima facie, through the analysis of financial statement, departmental authority is saying that you have booked it as a legal expenditure. Why you have not paid the RCM? Then after you have to go for multiple proofs that, sir, this is not a legal expenditure. This amount we have not paid to the advocate. We have paid this amount to the auditor only. And then after, departmental authority is going to consider based on your licensing. Okay, so multiple things are there. So we should be very much careful from that perspective, that when we are showing any legal expenditure, at that time the amount should be paid to the advocate. Okay, and if yes, then RCM is applicable. That point we have to keep in our mind. Advocacy services. And suppose if any advocate is going to provide the services related to return filing, in that case whether RCM is applicable? No, not at all. Because this particular RCM is applicable only in case of legal services or advisory, not in case of written filing, not in case of accounting. So because multiple advocates are there, they are providing the services related to accounting, related to written filing. At that time, what we are doing, we are book it as a legal expenditure. So we don't go for that. We just need to use the term accounting expenditure, written filing expenditure. Okay. Sir, business entity should be registered, because if the person is registered, then only that person is going to submit the data with the government. Otherwise, how government can know the idea? If I am not registered under GST and I have taken the services from the advocate and I have made the payment of the legal services to the advocate, how government will get the idea that I have taken the legal services? Okay. Next, arbitral tribunal services. Many times there may be chances of certain disputes in the industry, and if there will be a dispute in the industry, in that case the industry is going to take the services from the arbitral tribunal. There is a specific entity which is there, that is called as arbitral tribunal, and that particular entity is going to provide the services related to arbitration. That is बीच बचाव करवाती है. Okay, intermediary की services play करती है, and for that purpose that arbitral tribunal is going to charge something. Okay, so that business entity is going to provide or paid this amount to the arbitral tribunal. The business entity is recipient of service and arbitral tribunal is supplier of service. In that case, that business entity has to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. That business entity has to make the payment under reverse charge mechanism. Sponsorship services. The word body corporate has been removed by the government. You can also make a correction in the books. Okay, you just need to remove the name body corporate. Sponsorship services provided by any person to any partnership firm located in the taxable territory. Sponsorship services provided by any person to the partnership firm who is located in the taxable territory. Okay, taxable territory means India. Now, sir, can you please give me one example for this sponsorship services? Yes, definitely. Okay, many time, multiple firms are doing one thing. They are just going to organize certain events. And for organizing that type of events, for organizing that particular types of events, they require certain sponsorship from the persons. Okay, so one person who is going to arrange the sponsors, you can say, just for an example, there is one person, Mr. X, okay, and one firm is there. That firm is going to organize one exhibition. That firm is going to organize one exhibition. In that situation, in case of this exhibition, that the firm is connected with Mr. X and said to Mr. X that Mr. X, we require certain sponsors. So Mr. X said that yes, I will arrange sponsors for you. But for arranging the sponsors, I will charge 5 lakh rupees. So in that case, the firm agreed that yes, will pay you the amount of 5 lakh rupees. So in that case, when the firm is going to book the expenditure, that is sponsorship expenditure in the books of accounts, so the RCM will be applicable. If you are sponsoring any service to any person, then no RCM is applicable. Sponsorship services means if any person who is going to arrange the sponsorship services, okay, in that case the RCM is applicable when you are booking as a sponsorship expenditure. Okay, As you are a recipient, as you are a recipient of that service, so RCM will be applicable. Okay. Negative reverse liability statement. Sir, sir, I request don't ask any question which is not related to our today's topic. Okay, you can connect with me or WhatsApp. We may discuss about the GSTR 3B. Although we have one specific session in this course on the practical filing, at that time we'll discuss the negative liability statement and everything. Okay. Sir, Gagan sir, business entity registered, if you will check the reverse charge mechanism very carefully, in that case, you found that for small amounts, suppose I have paid a 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees as a reverse charge mechanism, as a legal fees, okay, then no RCM is applicable because I am not going to show it in front of government, okay, that is what is the thing. But suppose I have paid an expenditure of 1 crore rupees as a legal fees to the government, in that case, whatever will be your turnover, you have to take the GST registration for making the payment under reverse charge mechanism, because this amount is significant. Okay. Because government has clearly mentioned that there is no liability to take the GST registration, or there is no advantage to take the GST registration in case of reverse charge mechanism. If you are liable to pay the amount under reverse charge mechanism, then whatever will be your turnover, you have to take the GST registration. Okay. But for small amounts, we are not going to take the GST registration because the transaction is not very significant. But if any specific significant transaction is there, then definitely under reverse charge mechanism, we have to pay. Yes, sir. Definition. Definitely, Dhaval sir. Harshit sir, where it is mentioned that if I am availing the legal services, then I have to take the GST registration. Not at all required, because GST registration is required based on the turnover. Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next point. Okay. Sponsorship, you will get the recording. So just go through once again with the recording. Okay. And again, if you have a question, then we'll take it into our next session. Okay. So that it will be comfortable for everyone. And sir, I am only taking the queries which is related to the current point. Okay. I am not taking any other queries. Services by government, local authorities to the business entities. If any central government, state government, union territory, local authority is going to provide the services to any business entity, in that case RCM is applicable. Sir, for this line, we have only one concept and we can easily memorize that government is not going to make the payment of taxes in any situation. So in that case, the recipient is liable to make the payment of taxes. That is what is the point we have to keep in our mind. Okay. So in the books of accounts, if we found any expenditure with the name of central government, state government, union territory, local authority, we have to directly ask that, sir, what about reverse charge mechanism? Okay. Renting of immobile property by central government, state government, union territory, local authority to any person, yes, RCM is applicable. Okay. Residential dwelling and commercial dwelling, just keep it pending. Okay. Those point, I am saying that this point you have to keep it pending. Then there is one logic. Okay. Transfer of development rights, any person, promoter. So promoter wala concept, just keep it pending. We'll discuss later on, because in our last session also someone asked about the developed plot and GST applicability. Okay. So first we'll discuss that point, so that these points will be very comfortable for you. Okay. So abhi tak we have listed out the pending things. One is priority sector lending certificates and promoter related things, and the transfer of development rights. Okay. Now, next point which we are taking right now, that is director services. Sir, if I am a director in a company, if I am a director in a company, just Batuk Consultancy and Networking Private Limited, and if I am a director in the Batuk Consultancy and Networking Private Limited, and I am providing any services to the Batuk Consultancy and Networking Private Limited as a director, and the company is going to book that expenditure in the books of accounts, then company has to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. That means on that expenditure, company is going to make the payment under reverse charge mechanism. I am the supplier. Okay, so very easy point. If you will found any expenditure in the books of accounts of the company and the expenditure has been paid to the director, RCM is applicable. Okay, except the salary. Now, sir, next. Now onwards, everything will discuss from logical and very easy. Insurance agent services. If any insurance agent, if any insurance agent is going to provide director sitting fees, sir, RCM not applicable. We have the decisions of AAR authority, AAR authority, and High Court as well. Okay. In many cases, department is saying that yes, RCM is applicable, but we have the support of decisions. Director may provide the consultancy to the company and charging the amount. Okay. Director may provide the written filing services. You can say, suppose Sachin is the director in Batuk Consultancy and Sachin providing the written filing services and financial consultancy, and company is going to book expenditure 1 lakh to Sachin for financial consultancy. In that case, the company has to make the payment of reverse charge mechanism on that 1 lakh rupees. Is that okay, sir? Next, insurance agent. Sir, suppose I am an insurance agent and I am providing, my services to the insurance company, insurance business owner. Then I am a very small person as an agent. I need not take the GST registration. And if that insurance company is going to book any expenditure that this amount has been paid to the insurance agent, in that case, that person will be liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. If you are handling the work of any insurance company and you found any expenditure with the nature of the insurance agent, in that case, yes, you have to ask from the perspective of reverse charge mechanism. Sir, recovery agent Vasuli Bhai, as bank is providing the multiple type of loans and financial facilities, there may be chances of certain defaults. In that case, that bank and NBFC is going to appoint multiple recovery agents, and that agent is going and that agent is and that agent is going and that agent is going to provide the services for the recovery of the amount to the banking company and non-banking financial companies. And in that case, that banking company and NBFC is going to book the expenditure in the books of accounts regarding the recovery expenditure which has been paid to the recovery agent. In that case also, the reverse charge mechanism is applicable. So any amount which has been paid by the banking company or non-banking financial companies on account of the services provided by the recovery agent, in that case, the company is liable to make the payment of taxes. Next point, transfer or permitting the use of copyright like music composer, photographer, artist. If any music composer, photographer, artist is going to provide the services to any music company, producer, in that case, that music company and producer will be liable to make the payment of taxes. If you are checking the books of accounts of any music company or producer and you found such type of expenditure, in that case, yes, you have to ask that, sir, you have paid this amount to music composer, you have availed the services of photographer, then pay the RCM. Then transfer or permitting the use of copyright author, just as I am an author of 3 to 4 books, okay, and if I am going to provide my services to the publisher, in that case, but obvious, the publisher is liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. उस सिचुएशन में वो पब्लिशर जो है लाइबल होगा आरसीएम के पेमेंट के लिए. Next, sir, our reverse charge, Reserve Bank of India, RBI has one specific committee, overseeing committee, and that committee is going to handle multiple things in that Reserve Bank of India and providing the services. And for that purpose, the Reserve Bank of India is also going to pay the amount. So when the members of the overseeing committee is going to provide the services to the Reserve Bank of India, at that time, sir, at that time, the Reserve Bank of India is liable to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism for the services which has been provided by the members of the overseeing committee. Next, sir, as we all know, multiple bank is going to appoint the direct selling agents to expand the business. Okay. And the direct selling agent is going to arrange the multiple business functions for the bank, and bank is going to book that expenditure and paying the fees to the direct selling agent. So in that case, when the amount which has been paid by the bank or NBFC to the direct selling agent and making the expenditure, that expenditure is also liable to make the payment of reverse charge mechanism. Banking company or NBFC has to pay the RCM. If you are going for the bank audits or if you are working for any NBFCs, in that case you have to check such type of expenditure, RCM paid or not. There may be chances that you may say that now, sir, we are not dealing any work of banking and NBFC companies. Why we have to learn this specific concept? Sir, in near future, if you have received these type of work, in that case, you have to ready yourself from now onwards. So we should know the provisions. Business facilitator services. Many banking companies are appointing the business facilitators. They are going to provide the business related services to the bank, and bank is going to book the expenditure. In that case also, bank has to pay the reverse charge mechanism. Agent of business correspondent services, BC. Multiple banks are appoint the business correspondent points. If they are providing these services in the taxable territory, in that case also the reverse charge mechanism is applicable. Security services, sir, in the books of accounts of your client, if you found any expenditure with the name of security services, in that case directly ask your client whether you have paid the reverse charge mechanism on the security services or not. That is what is our role and responsibility, that is security services. And the registered person who is located in the taxable territory, that person has to make the payment of taxes under reverse charge mechanism. Renting of motor vehicles services. Any person other than a body corporate who opts to pay tax at the rate of 5% and is eligible to claim the input tax credit, and to any body corporate located in the taxable person. Any person other than the body corporate is providing the services of renting of motor vehicles to any body corporate. Person other than body corporate providing the service to the body corporate, in that case that body corporate is liable to make the payment of taxes. Lending of securities, just keep it pending, because in case of goods also we have book it as a pending. Okay, because we'll discuss priority sector lending certificate in a very detailed way. Radio taxi and passenger also pending, because first we'll discuss about the e-commerce operator, then after we'll directly move to this specific point. Okay, so e-commerce operator is completely pending. Now, rent payment for the commercial property. If any unregistered person who is going to provide the commercial property on rent to the registered person, in that case, yes, RCM is applicable, and this provision has been applicable from 1st of October, 10th of October 2024. So if you found any expenditure with the name of rent, in that case, you have to ask whether RCM has been paid or not. This is also a very important thing which we need to keep in our mind. So we have done the complete list in case of GTA, in case of our director, in case of music composer, in case of NBFCs, in case of business correspondent, in case of business facilitator, in case of recovery agent, in case of direct selling agent, in case of author, in case of security services, in case of central government, state government, local authority, and the list of goods. Everything we have covered in this particular session. Okay, so I request each one of you, sir, after completion of our today's session, and on the Saturday and Sunday we have leave. Okay, so you can do one thing, just go through with this list once. It will be very helpful for you. Okay, so that everything will be your brain, because Monday in first 10 minutes will revise all the line item of section 9 subsection 3 goods and services. Paresh sir, may I give the answer of your question in our next session, because in next session we'll discuss the GTA in a detailed way and it will automatically covered. Yes, definitely. Ram Shankar sir will definitely share you. Gitika ji, you have placed the order just 3 days back. We have already dispatched your books. Okay, so you will receive it very soon. Sir, section 9 subsection 3 says that if you are liable to make the payment of reverse charge mechanism, okay, in that case you have to take the GST registration. If anyone liable for RCM, then in that case turnover limit is not applicable. Journal provision regarding the reverse charge mechanism. Director providing personal guarantee for loan taken by the company. No RCM is applicable. The decision has already been received. If you want, we may share the same. Okay. And government has also issued the circular. Also, Ram Shankar sir, if you have bought our book, that is 251 judgments, landmarking judgments. In that book, multiple case studies have already been included. Okay. Sir, for bank account details, can you please WhatsApp me on this number? So my team member will share with you the. Ramakrishnan sir, can you please share with me one invoice of the cotton so that I can guide you in a best way? Hari Kishan sir, regarding the reverse charge mechanism in case of royalty mines, sir, आपको पता रहेगा, the constitution 9 judges constitution batch of the Supreme Court of India has already pronounced the decision that the mines, the royalty is not a tax, hence RCM will be applicable on that. So whether it is related to service tax or whether it is related to GST, you have to make the payment of taxation under reverse charge mechanism. Sir, I have already shared the number. You just need to WhatsApp, and I suggest everyone, those who are joining the live sessions, if you have still not bought the book set, in that case, you can place the order. Okay, it will be very beneficial for all of you. Quantum lien done. Sir, post office is not defined as a NBFC or banking company, so no question of RCM. Sir, the same was not, the jewelry was not given in your list of goods, hence no RCM. Residency are applicable RCM. I am not getting your point, Mahesh sir. Renu ma'am, if a particular person who is unregistered, okay, and that person is availing any services and that amount is not so significant, then no one going to take the then no one is going to pay the reverse charge mechanism. But the point is that if the amount is very significant, okay, and in 99% cases, if the amount is significant, then you are automatically liable for the GST registration. Okay. Sir, negative liability, you just need to connect with your WhatsApp, because the reason being we are taking only the daily topics related concerns, and I request each one of you, the topic, the point which we are covering in daily basis, if you have any query, any concern related to that topic, you can ask. I will definitely respond to you in the session itself. If any other query, in that case I am sharing with you the WhatsApp number. You just need to query your WhatsApp, will definitely respond within certain amount of time. Okay, it may take time, but will definitely respond. Okay, my team member will share the query with me and I will definitely respond. Yes, transportation services 5, 12, 18 will definitely discuss in our next session, or already we are going to cover this point. Yes, Indian Post Payment Bank is a bank, so yes, RCM provision is applicable. So thank you once again for joining, for listening with us. And sir, tomorrow morning sharp at 10 a.m. we have a memory technique session. So are you joining that session live? Just let me know. I request each one of you, if you have not attended that session earlier, tomorrow morning sharp at 10 a.m. a very special session is going to happen on the memory technique. And after joining that session, although in this course we'll cover the sections, okay, but after joining that memory technique session, each and every section will be on your fingertips. Okay, all the sections will be on your fingers. After joining that session around 2:30, you all will be in a situation to recall any section of CGST Act. Okay, section 1 to section 138 will cover. So I request each one of you join that session. We'll share the link right now in the group. And also I request, yes, link will be shared in the group, and I request each one of you, if it is possible to you, then just share that link with your professional friends and try to suggest your friend, then join it by tomorrow morning 10 a.m. They will definitely send you a thank message after joining this session. So can you please do it? Can you please share that link to your friends, professional friends, and suggest them to join the session? Because that particular workshop is a very favorite workshop for me. So I request each one of you, just you have to add 10 members from your side and pull them in the session. Once they have joined for 10 minutes, then it is my responsibility. They will be there in the session till the last moment, till 2:30. So with this hope that you all will join tomorrow morning 10 a.m. and you will ask minimum 10 participants to join that session by tomorrow morning. Thank you once again. We'll meet tomorrow sharp at 10 a.m. Evening session is not there. Ganesh sir, if you have any question in that case, you can please put it in the chat box. Yes, definitely. Ganesh sir will try to do. Actually, the point is that when I find the question in the chat box, just I'm trying to provide the answer to the participants. That was my purpose. Okay, but yes, definitely we'll take the questions post session. Okay, around 9:52 we'll take the questions. Next session will be on Monday sharp at 7 p.m. We have next session on Monday sharp at 7 p.m. So thank you. Bye bye. We'll meet tomorrow morning 10 a.m. the memory technique session, and I request each one of you please join the live session. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.